The topics of the day, and things got away with on right from what we were, which is probably a good thing,
Yep.
But the topics of the day are what not only all of Canada is talking about, but so too now is segments of America, because Fox News has picked up on the fact that the CFL is seeking $30 million in funding from the federal government now, and if there's no season, up to $150 million in funding. And it's really got people worked up. I'm going on my phone because I'm checking the results of the poll question. Our daily Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center poll question is, should the CFL receive millions in federal COVID-19 relief? 64% of you saying yes. What a shock. It's a sports show and people are saying, give the CFL the money. I'm saying yes. I think you said yes.
Yep.
Everybody on our shows said yes. And we've laid out the reasons why. Some of these other leagues that are struggling, and I'm talking about Canadian sports leagues, Canadian Hockey League, of which the Pats, the Blades, Warriors, Broncos all play in, the SJHL, the entire Canadian Junior A Hockey League, all other leagues, amateur curling, you name it. They will probably survive, but the CFL might die. That's the truth, based on their business model. They're the only pro league out of all those that I just mentioned. They're not the NHL. They're not the NBA. They're not the NFL. Sorry. Let's be real about it. And it doesn't look good that they've got their hand out. I mean, it depends how you want to look at it, what's your perspective. It doesn't look good, right? The Lakers got a bailout, $4.6 million, but they gave it back.
Yeah.
Just, was it yesterday or the day before? I support them doing it. Now's not the time for optics. Sportsnet reporting that it goes back to April 2nd that they put the application in. It just happened to be unearthed on April 28th. So the timing of it coming out is simply a coincidence. What about the people that say they've overshadowed their own draft with this coming out 2 days before the draft? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I mean, Randy Ambrosie's is a football guy first, marketing guy maybe second or third or fourth or fifth, he's not thinking about that. He's just thinking about what's right for the league and doing what's right. And it's not about this coming out now. As you mentioned, 3 weeks ago, they made the application separate from the draft.
Had nothing to do with the draft.
Right?
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with the draft. So this wasn't a decision for them to leak this now, I don't think.
Donald Mitchell, our Navy friend from Ottawa watching, he says some really uninformed opinions being made on that Toronto Argo tweet. The absolute cluelessness of the CFL haters is astounding. If you missed it off the top of the show, we mentioned the tweet that he's referring to is from an Argos linebacker, Onyeka. Onyeka's his last name, Nakas Onyeka. I'd never heard of him before. I had to go look it up this morning. He played at Wilfrid Laurier. He is a Canadian player. And he tweeted, why do Canadians hate the CFL? I'm just asking a question. It's a question that needed to be asked. I mean, I go a little further here. You got The Athletic, which is the pay subscription-based website, which is all the rage. It's where sports is going now, digital sports coverage. And I said to them, why don't you cover the CFL more? And the guy said, there's no appetite for it in Eastern Canada. Maybe in the West, but there's none out here. Yet they want to brag that they've got reporters on the English Premier League Soccer League. Like, who gives a shit about the English Premier League? Who cares? Like, and you all want to crap on Trump and crap on America, and you've got, don't stamp that, I don't want this living in infamy and sent out later because I swore, which I never do. But it's such a stupid Canadian thing. You hate Trump, you hate America, but you want to run around and kiss European soccer's ass and dump on the CFL. I don't understand it. And that's so the guy's saying, why do Canadians hate the CFL? Which they don't really. I mean, you look at the ratings and the Grey Cup ratings, millions watching the Grey Cup every year. The playoffs and Grey Cup is when the Canadians really shine in terms of their support of the league. Am I making any sense here, by the way? Because you're just looking at me.
Tons of sense. Tons. And I mean, I feel bad for the people who hate the CFL because you can, I don't want to go down this route a whole lot, but you can see that they're the ones who really have the issues.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
That's right.
you can, because to put that much energy and to put that much time and effort into hating something else, it's one thing to just enjoy what you enjoy. I enjoy the NFL like crazy. Love the NFL. But I also like the CFL a whole lot, and that's okay to like the CFL too. But, to try and bring it down and tell people why it's inferior, it's like, are you trying to convince them, or are you trying to convince yourself that it's inferior? You just can't deny
it's their problem.
that it's a big fabric of this country. And a lot of times, there's more people watching the Grey Cup in this country than watching the Super Bowl. A lot of times. Now, that doesn't always hold true, but we enjoy the CFL. It's part of our country. Can't that be good enough?
Doug McKell in Indian Head writes in, he says, the CFL has an economic and a cultural impact within Canada. If any other entity in Canada with a similar impact applies for help, wouldn't the government help them?
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.